Alright, shouldn't be a long video here because this movie's a simple premise for the simple pleasure, so you get a simple review. Let's get to it. So Jackass Forever is the fourth Jackass movie that I never thought was gonna happen. I thought we hit peak. Jackass 3D, you have a dildo flying across the room, smacking someone in the face. In 3D, we've hit peak Jackass. Where else can we go? Yet here we are. I don't know if they have a blood pissing clause in their contract. Like, what, do you piss blood every day? No? All right. Gotta do another Jackass, Jackass 4. Don't know, but bless these legends for doing what they do for our amusement. And that amazes me because after doing Jackass for this long, it still doesn't feel redundant. There are some bits that have the DNA of other bits that you've seen, sometimes literally, but they go their own way. You know, we've seen people get smacked with the big hand before. We saw that in Jackass 3D. But now you have those hands that smack people, but it's if they lose a bike race on an exercise bike that doesn't go anywhere. You know, so there are elements that are familiar, but it still feels so new. Just the bits and the scenarios they do, they're so imaginative. I guess that's how Jackass has grown. And those were a couple of my concerns. Like, was it gonna feel stale? Was it gonna feel redundant? Was it gonna feel nerfed? You know, you don't want it to feel like Jackass Light because like, hey, we're all, you know, in our 40s. We can't do this forever. Let's do Jackass Light. Doesn't feel that way. There's some bits where I'm like, all right, that might actually be fun before it really hurts like a son of a bitch. Other bits where I'm like, no, in fact, this is part of the fun of Jackass for me. I start quantifying, like, how big would the paycheck need to be in order for me to do that? On many occasions, I'm like, I'm glad you're there to do that because there is no fucking way. Now, this is the first Jackass movie without a couple of familiar Jackass cast members. Ryan Dunn, because Ryan Dunn passed away. And Bam Margera. There's a lot of finger pointing as to why Bam Margera is not in here. I get the feeling it's Bam, I hope he finds the help he needs. But there are some new cast members in this movie now. And they do their part and they do it well. It's actually neat to see newcomers and be like, I don't know how they're gonna react to these things. Like, I generally know how Steve-O's gonna react. I generally know how Johnny Knoxville's gonna react. Seeing new faces is welcome new territory. It gives a fresh feel to this movie. And the newcomers were there to play. They knew the job they signed up for and it all really worked. I don't know what it was like behind the scenes, but at least on camera, some scenarios like this, it would feel like, hey, we gotta haze the new guys. And they would fuck with the new people more, but it never felt like that in Jackass Forever. Everyone's a jackass, equally. Point is, I laughed, I cried, but I only cried because I was laughing so hard I was crying. And I cringed, absolutely. This movie has all that. Like, cringe is just a word. It's easy to say cringe, or type cringe, or meme cringe. In this movie, you're like, oh, and you're like, oh, hey, that's a cringe. It's like when you type LOL, but you don't really laugh. And then when you laugh, it's different. I guess it's subjective, so it'll hit you differently. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe a different bit will hit you differently than it hit me. I will say this. There's nothing in Jackass Forever that grossed me out as much as Sweatsuit Cocktail from Jackass 3D. Even as I say it, I'm trying not to visualize the drinking. Oh God, it just did. I mean, there's gross stuff in here that definitely it should have, but it didn't gross me out as much as Sweatsuit Cocktail. I'm just saying. The point is, this Jackass movie, the Jackass crew, they still got it. There was a part of me that was worried about that. There was a part of me that I didn't want to watch this movie feeling like they were those 40-something-year-olds still wearing their high school Letterman's jacket where you're like, you should probably hang it up by now. It doesn't feel that way. There is that element of fun, unbridled fun, that you get once every Jackass movie. There's no other way to say it. They can't keep this up forever. When Jackass is gone, it's gone. And this unexpected fourth Jackass movie is a gift. It has what you want and expect from a Jackass movie. I'll simply summarize like this. This is the most and the hardest I've laughed in a movie in years. Jackass Forever, it's worth watching. It's worth buying on Blu-ray. All right, Jackass Forever. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite bit from a Jackass movie? Or the biggest gross out bit from a Jackass movie? Or rank the Jackass movies. Who knows? This might be the last time we get to do that. But whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.